So woke up this morning and it's rained overnight and it's raining really heavily now, and this is the first bit of rain we've had for quite a while. We had that massive heat wave at the beginning of September and it hasn't rained, and now it's absolutely siled it down overnight. Everywhere's really wet, and unfortunately I found quite a few leaks. So on this side of the boat, I replaced, I took out and resealed this window frame, but there's still water here and here. Now it could be coming through from the inside of the frame, or it could be coming from the outside. So that window's got to come out and be resealed properly. I sort of knew that, and I was hoping to do that a few days ago, but I didn't get a chance. But then there's also one drip here, which is a bit more of a nuisance, because I don't know where that's from, and I've sealed all the bolts up the top there, and I can't see any where that's coming from. In addition, we've got a lot of water under here with drips here. Now there's a possibility that that's just the underside up there, which just needs a bit of help. Those bolts need to be sealed in like we did with the other side. And there's also a leak here, and that's the sink. This tap's not plumbed in, so it's not from the tap, but that needs to follow up here, and this window screw, probably they all need to come out, but I've not resealed that window, so that one's kind of almost a forgivable, if you know what I mean. If I press hard on that, you can see that's not moving. Move over to where this bolt is and you can see the whole fiberglass is moving. This area is all damp, so this is going to need to be cut out, and the source of that bolt, which I can't actually see, I think it's the handrail, is going to have to come out, and then we can recut that, re-epoxy it, and hopefully fix that leak. But it's quite bad. You can see the amount of water down here on the kitchen top. I've got so many leaks, and I can't tackle them all one by one in between rainstorms. It's a bit more serious than that, so I'm going to have to get a tarpaulin and cover the boat up, and then start to tackle the leaks piecemeal, so that we can get on top of it all. Multi-purpose polythene woven tarpaulin, perfect for the job. So that's the tarpaulin in. Let's give it a few minutes and see if those leaks stop. It's worth noting that these are not new leaks. These are leaks that have been here all the time. But when the place was a construction site, it was difficult to spot. Firstly, where they were coming from, and secondly, that they were even happening, because there was nothing. That, you know, here we have a piece of wood that's got a stain on it. Here we have a piece of wood that's got a stain on it. So now we can see there are leaks. We just knew that the bilge was filling up, but didn't know where from. So a little bit of, now we've kind of put the bare bones carcass in, we've now got the opportunity to find out that it's leaking properly and where they're leaking from, find the stains, and work our way back to stop them. I've just put a drill in here, and that's the outer skin, so I think there's an inner skin here. So I'm just going to cut this out now. So I'm just going to use one of these saws. See what we do. Oh my word. So there's the sandwich. Look at that, that's absolutely soaked. See how wet that is? In case you can't see that quite properly, that's the wood. That was once wood. So the day's not getting any better here. I can see up there, there's water dripping in. There, can you see that? Up there, there's water dripping in there. Now that's, to be honest, if I'm being honest, that's not a big problem because we've taken that bolt out already, and I put some sealant on it as a temporary, and it's clearly not really taken. But it does mean that I've now got water dripping all the way down that bracket, which is not ideal. That patch there is wet, and all the way along this bottom of this door frame here is wet, and there's water and water damage on this floorboard. But this is fiberglass, and then that's fiberglass, and I don't see any possibility of that leaking. There's no sign of that leaking, so it must be coming through the wood here. But it's coming down onto this floor. Look how so sodden that is. And same with that corner. And then there's a sealant in the corner here, which is somebody's obviously tried to fix the leak before. But I think this entire door frame is leaking. And all the way here as well. So it's soaking up. Because this is all dry up here. The window corner is dry, so it's not coming in from there. It's not coming in down the top. And that's fiberglass. So this is the interior wood, so it's only where it must be coming in from this door frame. So I'm not staying aboard tonight, which gives me the opportunity to do some epoxying before I go, because the fumes in the cabin are too much. You can't stay there once you've put the epoxy in. So I'm going to do a batch of it rather than little bits. I've got quite a few areas, quite a few battens to put on. So I'm going to rig up. I've just been measuring up the battens, and I've been lining things up and marking things out. And then once I'm ready, I'll mix up the epoxy and then do it in one batch, lock the boat up and go home and leave the smell to waft around as the epoxy cures. So in terms of equipment, we have 105 resin, 205 fast hardener, 406 adhesive filler, a bucket and a stick to stir it with, and a pair of gloves to wear, and then all the actual battens are all prepared. Here goes. Now I don't normally do this inside, though there is the advantage that the silica doesn't blow around, so that's I suppose a thing. So we go 1 right down to the top, and then we go 1, and then we do another one. 1, boom, and then we go boom, and then we keep going boom, boom. I don't think we need the noises, do we? Do we need the noises? Who knows? I need a little bit more liquid than that for the amount I've got to do. I haven't got much to do. But when you're doing small quantities, these taps are amazing because they deliver it in exactly the right proportion. You can mix it in a really small quantity if you just want a little tiny piece. We don't really want much. Now, by the time we've made this a bit thicker, we probably will need a little bit more, so I might just add another one. I'm just looking at the amount, and you kind of gauge it for what I've got to do. It's a bit like cooking. Just got to know you've got the right amount, and you really got to stir it in. If you haven't stirred the hardener into the resin, you will not get a result. Right, so now we're going to add the thickener, which is this lovely little powdery stuff with a little scoopy. And one to start with, 2 spoons. It does get everywhere, this stuff, and as I say, if you're doing it outside, which I normally do, you find it blows off all the way around. So again, we're trying to get this so that it becomes like a sort of thick paste, and that we've got all the silica properly mixed in. Now, that's really starting to get thick, and I think that's probably as thick as we need it to be. It doesn't need to be much thicker than that for the job we have here. a little bit more space down the side in case the cables need to go down. That's good. Here we are again at the boat in slightly more favourable conditions than last time. My hair's dry. So let's go and see how that epoxy has cured. So in order to stop the battens falling off of their own accord before the glue had set, I added these battens on top and just lightly screwed them into some existing. They were glued on already, so I just added those 2 screws to keep the batten straight, and then that one to hold the new batten on. And similarly here, that one was in there already, so that's 2 screws there and that one there. And while we were fixing that up, I just put some tape on it. So let's take that off and see what we're left with. Oopsie daisy, buttercups. There we go. They look quite good. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.